Hi, I'm Claire, and today I want to talk about my plans for the O.W.L.s Magical Readathon coming up this April. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go and check G over at the Book Roast's video that she did announcing this readathon, because it's luscious and complicated and beautiful, and she's put so much work into it, and you should definitely be checking out that video if you're interested in participating in the readathon this April. It's all themed after the exams and the careers in the wizarding world of Harry Potter, and so you've got reading prompts that follow all of the subjects and all of that. You can qualify for a certain wizarding career. It's a lot of fun, but this readathon has been running for 2 years already. This is the third year. It's big and expensive, and there's more than I can explain in this introduction. Also, I will say I had to make a separate video from Read for Initiative because I'm still gonna do my Read for Initiative video in April, where I roll some dice and use some D&D style prompts to pick my reading. So between reading for the BookTube SFF Awards, which I will still have to do, and Read for Initiative and the O.W.L.s prompts, this is going to be a huge reading month. Hopefully I will manage to get everything read. There are thankfully some big holidays in April, because otherwise, But without further ado, let's look at the actual careers that I'm interested in doing. G has added a lot of cool new careers to the career booklet this year, so if you have just seen the book from last year, go and check out the new one that is linked in her video, because there is so much new stuff. When I saw the new booklet for this year, I was really excited about a couple of new careers, as well as some other ones that I was already excited for last year. So I've picked a few careers that I'm interested in. I haven't picked one yet because I can't decide. I've picked a few that I'm interested in that have a lot of overlap, and hopefully I'll be able to complete enough prompts to have a few to choose from by the time the newts roll around, because this is a 2-part readathon. You qualify for some stuff with the O.W.L.s that you take, and then with the newts in August it's more difficult because there are more books to read per subject. We'll, explain that when we come to it, because it's also fairly complex. But what I've picked so far is Culinary Sorcerer, which is a new one this year that a lot of people have been excited about. Potioneer, which is one I was super excited about last year as well, and both of those basically sound like baking with magic. I'm there for that. Then we've got Wand Maker, which is another one I really like the sound of last year. That's very art and crafty. I like it. Zoologist, obviously taking care of magical animals, sounds amazing, quite dangerous, but pretty cool. And then there's another new one that I really like the look of, which is Mage of the Visual Arts. It basically sounds like BookTube but with magic, because basically that's, I think, the people who set the portraits moving. Now bear with me because it's quite tricky to explain without the booklet in front of you to see all of the prompts for each of those careers, but basically for each of the ones that I've picked, you need to complete either 4 or 5 O.W.L.s, so they're all fairly easy. And the first 4 that I mentioned, Culinary Sorcerer, Potioneer, Wand Maker, and Magical Zoologist, between the 4 of them, they only want 6 different O.W.L.s, because there's a lot of overlap. There's charms and herbology and potions for all of them. And then we've also got arithmancy, care of magical creatures, and ancient runes, and all these just cover these 4 jobs that I'm quite interested in. So I think that's what I'm going to focus my efforts on. I'm going to read these core 3, charms, herbology, and potions, as a priority, and then I'll attempt to do ancient runes, arithmancy, and care of magical creatures. And once I've got all of these, I might try and do a little bit more. I'll tell you about that towards the end. But first up, let me tell you what I'm reading for charms, herbology, and potions, which are my core subjects that I'm going to be doing. So for charms, the prompt is a white cover, so I'm going to go with The Court of Miracles, there you go, by Kester Grant. This is an arc that I've got. It's clearly very white and gold, and I'm so excited to read this because it's a Les Mis retelling, and I've been sitting on this since I got sent the arc in January. It doesn't come out till June. I can't wait to read it. that long. I'm gonna have to read it in April. I'm really excited for it. I have other books with white covers in my TBR, but the thing is, the test, which is the shortest book with a white cover that I've got, I'm already reading in March because it came up, white cover came up as a prompt in my Read for Initiative TBR game. And then all the other books that I've got with white covers are all to do with pandemics destroying the world, and I am not doing that right now. The prompt for herbology is Mimbulus Mimbletonia. Read a book starting with an M, and for this one I'm going with A Memory Called Empire by R.K.D. Martin. This is a BookTube SFF Award finalist, so I need to be reading it. It's about the ambassador from a small but fiercely independent mining colony who takes her post in the capital of the empire, and she doesn't know what happened to the person who was doing this job before her when she arrives. And then of course you find out that that person's been murdered and that she might be in danger as well. I'm really excited to read this. It was a fairly easy decision to make because this one was already on my TBR for April no matter what, because BookTube SFF Awards reading. And then for potions, the prompt is Shrinking Solution. Read a book under 150 pages, and I was very happy to see that because I love novellas and they are obviously great for a readathon. I'm going to read The Empress of Salt and Fortune by Ni Vo for this. I have an arc of this on NetGalley, so I do want to get to it relatively close to when it comes out. And this one is about, I believe, a princess who goes on a journey to enter into a marriage, a political marriage with somebody in a different kingdom that she doesn't know, and there's some political intrigue, and I don't think we follow the princess as the main character. I think the main characters are her handmaidens and her servants, which is a really, really cool point of view to be taking. I'm really, really intrigued by it. After those, the next 3 exams I'm going to do are Ancient Runes, Arithmancy, and Care of Magical Creatures. For Ancient Runes, the prompt is to read a book with a heart on the cover or heart in the title. And for this, I'm super excited to finally be reading Hungry Hearts, 13 Tales of Food and Love. This is a YA collection of short stories about food, family, culture, identity, all that good stuff. It's edited by Elsie Chapman and Caroline Tunk Richmond. It's got writing by Sandia Manon, Rebecca Rowanhorse, Anna Mary McLemore, even more amazing authors, and these are interconnected stories about the lives of 13 different teenagers. And again, food, culture, identity, things that I find very, very interesting. So I can't wait to check this one out. The prompt for Arithmancy is to read a book outside of your favorite genre, which gave me pause. I really thought to myself, do I want to bother doing that one? Because it sounds like a lot of work. But then I remembered that I still have volume 3 of Clean Room, written by Gail Simone, with art by Walter Giovanni, colors by Quentin Winter, and letters by Todd Klein that I haven't actually read. This is a horror comic. I don't read a lot of horror, it's not my genre, but I really enjoyed the first 2 books in this. I swear I thought I had read this, the opening pages of it feel very familiar, but I must have been distracted and stopped at some point because I don't know how the story resolves, and I definitely want to see how it ends. It's about a charismatic cult leader lady who has some kind of weird psychic powers and can see demons. Demons are real and terrifying and gross, and this is a very well told story that is terrifying. So I definitely want to finish reading this one. For Care of Magical Creatures, the prompt was to read a book with a creature that has a beak on the cover. And for this prompt, it was quite easy because I already had a book like that on my TBR for April, because This Is How You Lose a Time War by Amal Al-Motar and Max Gladstone is a finalist for the BookTube SFF Awards. I do need to read it. I was planning already to read it in April. It's got birds on the cover. At this point, that makes my TBR 3 novel length works, 2 novels, 1 short story collection, and 3 shorter things, 2 novellas and 1 comic book. So that seems pretty alright for the month, especially since I'm probably gonna have to add some stuff on from Read for Initiative. It's gonna be a lot. Now, I really wish that on top of that I could do Mage of the Visual Arts, but I really think that I can't, because that's 3 more prompts, and they are to read a book at night for astronomy, and then pick a book with a random number generator for divination, which could end up being a massive book, and then read a book with witches or wizards in it for history of magic, which would be fine because I could pick something short, but 3 more books is a huge extra undertaking. What I do want to maybe do is look at some of the courses and trainings and seminars that G has added for this year. She's added these as like something where you might want to read 1 extra book or 2 extra books, but you don't want to like take on an entire new career. So for these, there are 2 specifically that I find really interesting, and those are training to become an animagus and training to become a dragon tamer. Now, the dragon tamer one, which sounds awesome, it just wants you to do the full training as a magizoologist and then read a book with a dragon in it. So I might try and see if I can read a dragon book in April to add to, like, just in case. I do the Magizoologist training in August, but the one I definitely want to try and do is Animagus training, which is arithmancy and potions, both of which I should already have. And then the final one is Transfiguration, and the prompt for Transfiguration is to read a book or series that includes shapeshifters, and I've just ordered myself a copy of Mooncakes by Suzanne Walker, which is a graphic novel in which there are werewolves. So that, I think, should be a lot of fun. So that's it. These are my tentative plans for the Owls this April. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't too much of a mess to follow. I know there's so much going on there, but if you are also making plans for the Owls yourself, please do let me know about them in the comments below. I want to hear what career you're going for, what you might pick for different prompts. There is a really handy tool that G has provided this year for people to recommend books to each other. So again, if you go to her video, it'll be linked in her description. And if you are hearing about this for the first time and you've stuck to the end of the video, first of all, congrats, because I bet it must have been confusing. But second of all, please do check out the Magical Readathon, check out G's video, please consider participating. I'm sure everybody in BookTube land would love to have you in this readathon. It's becoming such a big thing, so many people are participating, it is so much fun. I can't wait. If you'd like to see more from me, you can check out a previous video on screen right now. And if you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button that's on my face for a new video from me every week. I've been Claire, thanks so much for watching, and see you soon.